everyone. We're back at Monday, and as I promised, I said I would try to do these weekly, so here I am. My day didn't start out the way I thought it would, and this morning at about 4:25 when Lily and I went out the front door, the first thing I saw around the corner was a man laying in the street. And to be honest with you, there's a side of me that was pretty angry, besides the fact that I have quite a bit to do, and knowing that I was going to need to figure out something because probably no one else is going to help this man, but also not knowing the situation, the circumstances surrounding why this man was laying in the street. And I have opinions about that, but let's just say that we'll leave it at, I know that a lot of people there's mental illness, there's all sorts of things that happen in people's lives that land them homeless, but at this point in Albuquerque right now, we have a lot of people choosing to be homeless, which is a whole different situation. And but we're not going to get into that today. So when I came back around with Lily, and before I came back out with Ash, I did call the non-emergency number, and I asked that I told them what was going on, so they said they'd send someone out. By the time I came back with Ash, there was a police officer, a woman, and an ambulance with 2 EMTs helping the man whose pants had been halfway down, but he was now standing up. They were helping him to get dressed. And what occurred to me then, I thanked them and appreciated what they were doing, and watched them just as I was going back into my house. And then I went back out for my run. What occurred to me was that this man looked much different standing up. He was not, I don't know how coherent he was, but he was at least somewhat more functioning. And I was aware of that, this man clearly had done something last night that put him in a stupor, and there's no telling what his circumstances were, but they were probably not somebody who's, I'm going to say, made choices that I necessarily agree with. And we could go all the way back to when somebody first started to use something, but that's not the topic for today. But whatever led him to where he was in the street by my house this morning, I don't know what happened then, because by the time I came back they were gone. I'm guessing that there was nowhere to take. I don't know where you're going to take anybody these days. We have too many people and not enough facilities, but that they just made sure he could walk and sent him on his way. But that story said, I'm thinking about, there's so many things that I've been thinking about this morning since that happened, and what I'm really aware of is what I think that I want to focus on this morning is the compassion that the police officer and the 2 EMTs had for this person. Because there's a lot of things that I could say about what we're not doing for people, where we're failing people, where we're failing children. It goes all the way back, how much pain people have, and this is all pre-pandemic. This is not even pandemic related. This was all going on before, but they really I felt a sense of kindness and compassion to help this man, and my feelings about this man were different once I saw him up and standing, were different than seeing him laying on the ground, mumbling with his pants half down. And so what I'm thinking about today is, there's a lot of things that we can't do right now, or maybe we don't know what we can do to help people. But one of those things that we can do is definitely be kind. And it's sad that it all goes back to what I remember my mother just constantly harping all the time. Be nice to people. Don't say anything, that you don't need to say. And, we've gotten so far away from that we're going back to these messages that we were taught, that mom told us, and mom was right. And I had a friend who told me he didn't want to let his mom know she was right any more times than she already was. But it really does go back to that. So at minimal, at least this week, just be kind to people. And this also is the end of National Suicide Prevention Month. So I have here one of the bucket bags that I had made out of the Believe collection, the purple and turquoise, and a portion of the proceeds from this bag is made out of vinyl, has the hard bottom. I like to talk about that because you don't want a saggy bottom on your bag, but this portion of this does go to the University of Kentucky, to the Suicide Research Lab, and that's important because I know that is something that I can do, and among other things and little things, but it all adds up and it all helps somewhere down the line. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you. Have a shell-tastic week.